History is not always a simple story. Sometimes it is a collection of moments that do not quite fit together. It is a puzzle with missing pieces. On June 8, 1967, one such moment occurred. It happened in the vast, shimmering expanse of the Mediterranean Sea. The ship was the USS Liberty, a technical research vessel of the United States Navy. She was not a warship built for combat. Her purpose was intelligence gathering. She was, in essence, America's eyes and ears on the water. On board were 294 crew members. They were sailors, cryptologists, Marines, each serving their country far from home. They believed they were safe in international waters. Under the protection of the American flag, they proudly flew. The world around the USS Liberty was in turmoil. The Six-Day War had just erupted. On June 5th, tensions between Israel and its Arab neighbors, Egypt, Jordan, Syria, had boiled over into open conflict. The United States was officially neutral. The USS Liberty was ordered to the eastern Mediterranean to monitor the unfolding events. Her mission was to listen, to observe the communications of the warring nations. She was a silent observer, sailing about 14 nautical miles off Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. The morning of June 8th was calm. The sun was bright. The sea was gentle. Men went about their duties. Many relaxed, basking in the Mediterranean warmth. The large American flag flew. Earlier, Israeli reconnaissance aircraft overflew several times. The crew waved, the pilots waved back. The USS Liberty was clearly marked with GTR-5 in large letters. Its silhouette unlike any Egyptian warship. She operated in international waters in full compliance with maritime law. Her crew trusted the protocols of sea and sky and the flag that would protect them. They could not know their ship would soon be at the center of a bitter controversy and a story of survival. The peace of the afternoon was suddenly broken at approximately 2 o'clock. The clear blue sky became a source of terror. Without warning, unmarked jet fighters screamed toward the USS Liberty. The first wave was swift and precise, later identified as Israeli Mirage 3 fighters, opening fire with cannons and rockets. They targeted communication antennas and gun mounts, moving to blind the ship and silence its calls for help. Sailors on deck were caught completely by surprise, with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. The assault was relentless. Pass after pass, bow to stern, bullets ripped through metal and men. They were after the initial barrage. A second wave, Israeli Mister jets swooped in. They dropped napalm, a terrifying incendiary. The deck erupted into a sea of fire. Intense heat and thick black smoke turned the vessel into a floating inferno. Even as the ship was torn apart, the crew fought back. Radio men worked frantically to restore communications. Under fire, they rigged a makeshift antenna and sent a desperate plea to the US 6th Fleet. Any station, this is Rockstar. We are under attack. The large American flag flew high. When it was shot down, they raised an even larger holiday ensign. Survivors recall seeing pilots' faces at low altitude. They waved to signal, American ship. The attacks did not stop. Just as the air assault eased, 3 Israeli motor torpedo boats closed at high speed. They opened with cannons and machine guns, riddling the hull. At about 2:35, a torpedo steamed toward the ship's midsection. The crew watched in horror. The impact was catastrophic, striking the starboard intelligence spaces and tearing a massive hole nearly 40 feet wide. Seawater rushed in. 25 sailors were killed instantly. Dozens wounded. The Liberty listed heavily. As the crippled ship struggled to survive, the boats circled and fired, not just at the ship, but at sailors on deck. Life rafts lowered to the sea were machine-gunned, proof to many survivors of an intent to leave no witnesses. Despite overwhelming damage, the crew refused to give up, fighting fires, tending wounded, and battling the flood. Captain William McGonigal, severely wounded, remained at his post, directing damage control with remarkable calm and courage. Through skill and grit, the crew kept Liberty from sinking, surviving one of the most lethal attacks ever sustained by a U.S. Navy ship that did not go down. In the aftermath, Israel quickly apologized, calling the incident a tragic, deeply regrettable mistake. Officials said pilots and torpedo crews misidentified the USS Liberty as the Egyptian horse carrier El Qusir. They noted the declared war zone and high alert for enemy vessels threatening Israel's coast. The U.S. and publicly accepted the explanation. A Navy court of inquiry concluded it was mistaken identity. The record cites a chain of errors, reconnaissance reports identifying an American ship lost or ignored, and U.S. orders for Liberty to pull farther offshore delayed, never received. According to the narrative, sun glare and jet speed obscured markings. Israel paid compensation to families and for ship damages. For both governments, the case was closed. But skepticism grew. Could experienced forces mistake a uniquely configured U.S. intelligence ship for an old cargo vessel after multiple recon flights? The swift closure left questions lingering. The survivors tell a story that contradicts the official explanation. They insist the American flag flew clearly. When one was shot down, an even larger ensign was raised. Says, at low altitudes and slower attack runs, they argue, pilots could not have missed the prominent GTR-5 and distinct silhouette. Admiral Thomas Moore declared for years the attack was deliberate, part of a cover-up to protect a strategic relationship. Other officials, including a lead counsel, later said the Navy court's findings were shaped by White House pressure to absolve Israel. U.S. intelligence aircraft reportedly intercepted Israeli pilot comms identifying the ship as American, then in order to proceed. Full transcripts remain unreleased, yet multiple former intel personnel confirmed their existence. Liberty's standard and emergency frequencies were jammed, life rafts in the water were machine gunned, acts survivors see as deliberate and at odds with any accidental attack. The ship's wounds speak. Cannon holes stitched across compartments, steel torn open, and men scarred for life. For survivors, these were the actions of attackers determined to leave no witnesses. Decades later, the USS Liberty remained shrouded in the most basic question. Why? Several theories exist, none definitively proven. One, prevent U.S. interception of impending operations in the Golan Heights. Another, a false flag to blame Egypt and pull America into the war. Both imply high-stakes Cold War calculus. The lack of definitive evidence leaves only dark possibilities. A full, open congressional investigation never came. Inquiries were brief, findings criticized as incomplete and political. Key evidence remains classified. This is a human story. 34 Americans who did not come home, 171 wounded, families carrying grief and the weight of secrecy for more than half a century. The path to resolution begins with transparency. Release all relevant documents, unredacted reports, and complete intercept transcripts. Hold an open congressional hearing, let survivors testify, and present their evidence to the American people. A nation's greatness is measured by its commitment to justice, especially when it is difficult. It is time for the full story to be told.